Hello everyone, welcome back to Reddit now. I of course am your host Peter, and I hope you like the new logo. But today we're going to be looking at r/EntitledParents. Hope you enjoy. We begin with quite a dire post. Entitled Mum unlives her baby. So, not my story, but my friend's. She's a midwife at a very busy hospital, and followed this entitled mother with her pregnancy, with a lot of difficulty because she wouldn't show up at appointments or show up and demand being seen when she wasn't scheduled, entitled the entire pregnancy pretty much. Anyway, the end of her term comes, except she doesn't go into labour. No big deal at first, she would just have to come in every few days for my friend to check on the baby and see if she needed to get induced. Except she straight up refuses to get induced. My friend advises her that for now she doesn't have to be, but later, if she doesn't go into labour, she'd be risking her and the baby's life, and sets up an appointment for a few days away. A few days later, she's a no-show. So, my friend calls. Her patient refuses to go in because she doesn't want to be induced, and that her and God know best, it'll come naturally. My friend calls every few days to try to convince the lady to come in, and finally gets the husband on the phone, and explains the risks to him. He convinces the lady to come in for a checkup. Still no signs of labour, and at this point, she's quite a bit overdue. My friend explains once more that the entitled mother has to get induced, otherwise she's risking her and her baby's own life. But entitled mother says the same thing. God and her know best. My friend tells her her baby will die if she leaves the hospital, but the entitled mother demands to be discharged. The hospital cannot keep her against her will, since neither her or her baby are in immediate danger, meaning she could still maybe wait a day or two if monitored to be induced, so my friend has to let her go. Fast forward a few weeks later, the entitled mother is now way past being 3 weeks overdue. 2 weeks overdue is usually the very limit for most hospitals, and comes back complaining of stomach pain. My friend orders an immediate induction, and checks with a quick echo to confirm her suspicions. The baby died in the womb, because entitled mother refused being induced and her placenta rot. My friend told me it was awful in the delivery room, not only because they were delivering a dead baby, but also because of the smell of the placenta and the dead baby. The stomach pains the mother was complaining about was an infection from the rot, and the entitled mother didn't even blame herself. She just shrugged it off as God's will, and it wasn't meant to be. She made a full recovery and was let go from the hospital, totally planning on trying for a child again. This is a comment from the post. I hate it when ignorant people cite God's will. God's will was the knowledge and training the doctors and hospital staff have to help their patients. God's will was that the lady trusting the doctors, who, using God's will, would have successfully delivered the baby alive and healthy. It's like the old story of the flood victim, who refused help from people in the boats, a helicopter, etc. and died, then asked why God didn't help him. God told him he sent boats and a helicopter. Why didn't the guy go with them? God helps doctors and nurses educate themselves and learn about medicine so they can help us. Now, I definitely don't want to get into a religious or political debate, but I think it's fair to say that pretty much everyone, if they were given the decision this woman had to make, would choose to keep their baby alive. It's pretty depressing to know that there are people out there like this woman who are willing to just push the facts aside and go off their own tuition, even if their decision dictates the life or death of a baby. Okay, the next post is indeed a fresh one, and it's doing very well. Entitled Mum wants a newer model. This just happened a few hours ago, and I'm going to make it a short one since I'm on my phone and on lunch. Me again from the animal shelter, which is a magnet for the crazy and over-entitled of the world. Enter 60-year-old entitled grandma. She comes into our shelter with this tiny little poodle that is skin and bones, missing hair and blind and seemingly deaf. The dog looks like it died months ago and didn't know it. Well, entitled grandma brings this dog in and says it's a stray she found. We ask her the basics. Do you live in this county? Is one of the biggest questions we ask. See, what some people don't know is that every county in a state has its own county animal shelter or animal control facility. Any stray animal found must be brought to that county's shelter, usually within 48 hours of finding the animal. It is illegal to take a stray animal from one county and surrender it to an animal shelter in a different county that you don't live in. Now, with that being said, entitled grandma doesn't live in this county. However, she claims to have found the dog running down the road in our county. Okay, it happens. We take the dog in and I get called to do its medical exam. I make sure the dogs and cats and whatever else we get has their proper shots and medication, so they don't get sick while here, or if they are sick, so we can at least start getting them healthier. This requires a lot of wrestling with big animals that can unlive me if they timed it just right, who don't want to take their pill or get a shot. So, I take the little poodle into the back, and the first thing I do is scan any animal coming in for a microchip. Chip comes up instantly. I research the chip, and sure enough it's from the next county over that entitled grandma lives in, registered to that county's animal control. This is a red flag for me. This tells me it's her dog. However, I follow through and contact the next county's animal control. They pull up the chip number and give me the owner's name, address and phone number. It's not entitled grandma. Okay, I think to myself, well, I've been wrong before. I call the owner on the chip. The owner isn't entitled grandma, but it turns out the owner is her daughter. Me. Hello, is this entitled grandma's daughter? Her. Yes, who is this? Me. Yeah, I'm from County Animal Shelter. Are you missing a small elderly poodle? Her. No. No, I got a poodle for my mother, entitled grandma, as a present back in 2016. Did it get lost? Me. No, your mother brought it in and told us it was a stray she found. She falsified information on a government form and abandoned her animal. These are pretty serious issues. She needs to come get her dog now. Entitled grandma's daughter. I understand. I will call her and make sure she comes and gets her dog back. About half an hour goes by and my desk phone goes off. It's entitled grandma's daughter's number. I think, okay, this is them telling me they are coming back. Nope, me. County Animal Shelter, this is me speaking. Entitled grandma's daughter, sounding very frustrated. Yes, this is me calling back. Entitled grandma isn't coming back for the dog. She says she doesn't want it anymore because she thinks it's old and ugly. She demanded I get her a teacup chihuahua instead. Me. Well, that's between you and her, but either you or her need to come get this dog, as it's an actual crime to surrender your animal to a shelter in a county you don't live in, let alone the animal abandonment charges and putting down false information on a government form. Her. I understand, but I work in another county and I can't make it in time to get the dog. Me. Then your mother needs to be an adult and come get her dog. She's got till the end of the day, or else we will be filing a police report. Her. Well, she's old. She shouldn't have to deal with that kind of stress. Me. She should have considered that before she lied to us and abandoned her animal. Have you even seen this dog? It's skin and bones. You are aware that animal cruelty is a felony in this state, right? Her. Fine, I'll come get the damn dog. Me. We close at posted hours. She hangs up and I go to lunch. I doubt I will ever see her or the mother, but I'm true to my word. If they don't get here by the end of the day, they're going to be dealing with the police instead of us. Edit. Quick update. With 3 minutes left to go until we close, no entitled grandma or her daughter in sight. This will now become a police matter. I gave them plenty of time to get here, now they can deal with felony charges. Alright, I got one more story for you guys, so make sure you stick around to the end. I think this title may have a typo, but nonetheless. Entitled mother fakes service dog and says I don't look disabled. A key for this post. SD means service dog, ESA means emotional support animal, entitled mum is EM, and me, well, that's quite obvious. I'm in high school and in a waiting line for my service dog. I had just finished for the day and stood outside the main building waiting for a friend. That's when I saw the entitled mother standing there with her 2 kids and a Basenji. The Basenji had a pink harness on with a patch on the sides, but I couldn't read what it said from the distance. I thought, hey nice, a service dog. Well, until more people got out of the main building. The so-called service dog started barking and dragging entitled mother towards the many students and it was on a flexi. So, entitled mother pulled her service dog back while doing the stupid s sound to make it quiet down. Obviously didn't work. By now I was starting to realise it was a fake service dog, or a bad ESA, and walked towards the entitled mother and the so-called service dog. The dog tried jumping on me, and the entitled mother had to yet again pull it back. I could now see the text on the harness. It said emotional support on one side, and service dog on the other. WTF? Is this a service dog, I asked. Yes, it's for my 2 kids, entitled mother replied. What tasks is it trained to do? Emotional support. Emotional support animals are not allowed in public areas and do not need training. Service dogs are task trained and emotional support isn't a valid task. Well, my kids started feeling down, so I bought them a puppy. Entitled mother was clearly annoyed. Nonetheless, emotional support animals do not have public access. That's when she dropped the "you don't look disabled" and the "oh yeah, invisible illness, never heard of that" things. Well, what do you know? You obviously look like someone who doesn't need a service dog. Actually ma'am, I'm in a long waiting line for a real, trained service dog. It's currently being trained for my personal needs. Slapping a vest or harness on a dog, especially a badly behaved one, will bring down real teams. Whatever, she said, leaving the school with her 2 kids who gave me the stink eye. They got in the car and left. Not as bad as some other posts here, but this really got under my skin. Faking a service dog is against the law, and you can't just go around telling people they don't look disabled. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching all the way to the end of this Reddit Now video. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed as I'm trying to grow the channel and it really helps. Other than that, I hope to see you tomorrow for the next video. Thanks very much, goodbye.